Since I got back from Marble Fork, I have not left my house. I do not mean that the way it sounds. I'm not hiding. I'm not scared. I just cannot make myself go anywhere. The truck sits in the driveway. The keys are on the counter. Every morning I think about driving to the store, or going for a walk, or doing something normal. And every morning I end up back in the garage with the box. I have been reading files every night, 3 or 4 at a time now. I do not pace myself anymore. I cannot. The pull I described before, the one that took me to California, it did not go away when I came home. It just changed direction. It does not point west anymore. It points down, at the box, at the folders, at the next file, and the next one, and the next one. I sleep maybe 3 hours a night. I eat when I remember. I have lost weight. I caught my reflection in the bathroom mirror 2 days ago, and I did not recognize myself for a second. I looked old, older than I am, like something has been draining me. But that is not why I am recording tonight. There is a folder in the box that I have been avoiding. I did not realize I was avoiding it until last night. Every time I go through the files, every time I spread them out on the floor or stack them on the workbench, this one folder ends up at the bottom of the pile. I push it aside. I put other folders on top of it. I reach for it and then pick up a different one instead. I have done this dozens of times over the years, and I never once noticed I was doing it. It was invisible to me, like my hands knew not to touch it before my brain could ask why. Last night I noticed. I was sorting files and my hand moved past it again, and this time I caught myself. I stopped. I looked at the folder. It is thin, maybe 4 or 5 pages. The cover is plain, no title on the front, just the stamp. Do not file. Same as all the others. But when I picked it up, my hands started shaking. Not from fear, from something else. Something I do not have a name for. My chest got tight. My throat closed. I felt like I was about to cry, and I had no idea why. I am a grown man. I have read files about people disappearing, about rangers being silenced, about things growing in caves that should not exist. None of that made me cry. But holding this folder did. I put it down. I walked inside. I sat on my bed for an hour. Then I came back and opened it. The file is a missing person report, dated November 1978, from the same district as the Elkins Creek file, the same district as the station where I found the box. The subject is a seasonal ranger, female, name Ellen Voss, age at the time of disappearance, 31. She was stationed at a ranger post 11 miles from Station 11C, the same station where Machin worked, the same district, 11 miles apart. The report is short, almost bare, like someone wrote the minimum required and stopped. Ranger Voss failed to report for her shift on November 9th, 1978. A welfare check was conducted at her station that afternoon. The station was empty. Her personal belongings were still inside. Pack on the hook by the door, radio on the desk, jacket hanging over a chair. Her boots were beside her bed, side by side. I read that line 3 times. A search was conducted over the following week. Teams covered a 10-mile radius around her station. They found no trace of her. No tracks, no clothing, no sign of an animal encounter or foul play. On day 4 of the search, a team member noted that a cave entrance, approximately 1 mile from Ranger Voss's station, showed signs of recent disturbance near the opening. Scuff marks on the rock, disturbed soil. The observation was logged, but no cave search was authorized. 1 mile from her station, a cave entrance with scuff marks, and nobody went in to look. The search was called off on November 16th. Ranger Voss was classified as a voluntary departure. The report notes that she had no known family in the area, and that colleagues described her as private, but well-liked. Voluntary departure. That is what they called it. A woman leaves her boots, her pack, her radio, her jacket, and walks out into the wilderness, barefoot, in November, and they called it voluntary. The file is stamped "Do Not File," same as the rest. But there is something else. At the bottom of the last page, in handwriting that is not the same as the report, someone has written a single line in pencil. She did not leave. She was taken. The handwriting is small and careful. I have seen it before. It matches the handwriting on the cassette tape label. It matches notes in other files. It is Machin's handwriting. There is one more thing in the folder, tucked behind the report. Not stapled or clipped, just placed there loose like someone slid it in later. It is a photograph, small, black and white. The corners are soft and rounded like it has been handled many times. It shows two people standing in front of a ranger station. The station is small, timber frame, a porch with a railing, trees behind it, mountains in the distance. It looks like late summer. The light is warm. The woman is in uniform, Park Service. She is smiling. Not a big smile, the kind of smile you give when someone you care about is holding the camera and you are happy they are there. The man next to her is also in uniform. He is not smiling. He is looking at her, not at the camera, at her, like she is the only thing in the frame that matters. I stared at that photograph for a very long time. I do not know why it affected me the way it did. I have read dozens of files about people who disappeared. I have seen names and dates and clinical descriptions of lives that ended without explanation, but none of them hit me the way this photograph did. Something about the way he is looking at her, the way she is smiling. It is not a professional photograph. It is not an ID picture or a service record. Somebody took this because they wanted to remember a moment. And then, somebody put it in a folder stamped "Do Not File" and hid it behind a wall. She was 31 years old. She had a station of her own. She was private but well-liked. And one night, she took off her boots and walked into the dark, and nobody ever found her, and nobody ever looked hard enough. I do not know why I am crying. I did not know this woman. I have never heard her name before tonight. But sitting here, holding this photograph, I feel like I have lost something that I cannot identify. Like there is a hole in my chest that was always there, and I am only now noticing it. I do not understand this feeling. It does not belong to me, or it should not. After I stopped, after I put the photograph down and washed my face and came back to the garage, I started thinking. Ellen Voss was stationed 11 miles from Station 11C, Machin Station, the same district. She disappeared in November 1978. Machin filed the Elkins Creek report in November 1974. He was reassigned in early 1975, but the box contains files from as late as 1982. Someone was still adding to the collection after Machin was moved to a desk. Unless Machin never really stopped. What if he kept investigating after they reassigned him? What if he kept going to the caves on his own time? What if he was collecting files from other stations, other districts, building the case that the Park Service refused to build? And what if Ellen Voss was part of that? What if she was not just a random disappearance in a folder? What if she was someone Machen knew? Someone who was helping him? Someone who went to the caves because he showed her what was in the files? The photograph. The way he is looking at her. What if she went to the caves because of him? And what if that is why he wrote those words at the bottom of her file? She did not leave. She was taken. Not by the Park Service. Not by a person. By whatever is in those caves. The thing that calls people in. The thing that makes them take off their boots and walk into the dark. And Machen knew. He knew because he had been studying it for years. He knew the pattern. He knew the signs. And he still could not stop it from taking her. Or maybe he is the reason it found her. Her station was 11 miles from his. My station, the one I was sent to repair in 1996, is in the same district. I have been assuming this whole time that the station I worked on was Station 11C, Machen's station, but I never checked. The file says Machen was at 11C. The station I repaired was never identified by name. The park office just gave me coordinates and a description. What if the station I found the box in was not Machen's station? What if it was hers? The station was abandoned in the late 70s. She disappeared in November 1978. The concrete room behind the shelving, the box hidden inside. Someone put those files there after Machen was reassigned. Someone who had access to a station in the same district. What if Machen hid the box in her station after she disappeared? Not because it was a good hiding place, but because it was the last place she had been. The last place that was hers. Like a grave he could visit. I am sitting in my garage, holding a photograph of a woman I do not know, and I feel like I am grieving someone I have never met. My chest hurts. My eyes burn. There is a weight on me that was not there an hour ago, and I do not know where it came from. I have read 38 files from this box. This is the only one that made me feel like this. This is the only one where I could not finish reading and had to walk away. Something about Ellen Voss is different. Something about her file does not sit right. Not in the way the others do not sit right. In a different way. A personal way. Like this one is closer to me than the rest, and I cannot figure out why. I have not slept tonight. It is almost dawn. The rain has stopped. The garage is cold. I keep looking at the photograph. The woman smiling. The man looking at her. There is something about the man in the photograph that bothers me. I cannot see his face clearly. The image is small and slightly out of focus, and he is turned toward her. But something about the way he stands, the set of his shoulders, the way he holds his weight, it feels familiar. The way a place feels familiar when you have dreamed about it, but never been there. I have looked at this photograph for 3 hours, and I cannot stop looking at it. I do not know who these people are. I do not know what they were to each other. But whoever put this photograph in that folder was not filing evidence. They were holding on to something they could not let go of. Machen's name is in 3 more folders in this box. I have been avoiding those too. After tonight, I do not think I can avoid them anymore. I wish I knew why this woman's face makes me feel like I have lost something I never had. These are the buried archives.